Hi, welcome to Nurse with Needles. My name is Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy on Ravelry and on Plurk. Today is Monday, June... just look at my watch, June 11th, 2012. If you are new to the podcast, thank you for stopping by. If you are a previous viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I'm trying a new setup this time. I've been watching some other podcasts, and well, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. I know I'm quoting that wrong, but the idea is there. And I really like the way that a couple of the podcasts are set up, so I'm just going to tweak things accordingly. Anyway, I got a nap in before I podcasted this week, and this is my long weekend off, so hopefully I'll be a little more rested this time. And pardon me if I keep drinking something. My mouth is really dry for some reason, so I'm going to keep up with the Gatorade. Okay. And I put this on my mouth, which still hurts. Anyway. First tweak to my setup is I'm going to start with finished objects. Kaw Shirley from Girlfriend's Knitting Podcast. I actually forget her first name, and I'm really sorry. Usually I look that up, but before a podcast. Anyway, I believe her Ravelry name is Kaw Shirley, as is her Plurk name. And her podcast is Girlfriend's Knitting, and the way she sets it up is she does her finished objects first. And that kind of makes sense to me, because you would kind of already know then that it's off the needles right away. I'll see if I like that setup. But it doesn't really matter this time, because I don't have any finished objects this time around, so bummer. That's a very short segment this time. My next segment is usually the longest one, and that is work in projects. I'm having difficulty thinking. Works in progress. There we go. Works in progress. So, the first work in progress would be the heather yoke, and you have seen this a couple times already, but I'm just going to run through it again for you. It's the Solvig yoke pattern by Eleanor Brown, and I'm making it for my grandmother in the size 39.5. The needles that are called for, well, I'm not sure what needles are called for. The ones I've had to use to reach gauge are the US 5 and US 8, and I'm using Knit Picks interchangeable circulars, my favorite needles. And the 16-inch and the 24-inch wires are the ones that I'm using and that are required for the patterns. For the pattern. Anyway. I'm using Knit Picks. This is my Knit Picks pattern, apparently. The Knit Picks Andean Treasure yarn. And the one I'm currently working in is the Aurora Heather colorway, and I'm just going to show that to you for a second. Hold on. Yeah, I'm stuck. And my coloring always seems a little bit off in here. This looks more gray, even though it's not. That might be a little truer to color. There, I think that gives you a better idea against my oh-so-pale skin. So that's about the color that the green is. I think it's a very beautiful color, even if the lighting in here is not so awesome. And that was just one of the sleeves. I finished both sleeves for that. And I've been showing this every week, but what the heck. Sleeve number 1. Woohoo. Sleeve number 2. And if you're wondering what these are at the end, these are just stitch holders. I kind of like them. Usually I would put waste yarn there, but kind of like how these are working out. So anywho, that's the color I'm using currently, the Aurora Heather colorway. Other colorways I will be using, since this is a, I guess it's a stranded pattern. I'm using Meringue Heather and Mystery Heather. The Meringue Heather's kind of whitish color. Mystery Heather is a kind of gray. I think it's a darker gray. Grove Heather is a lighter green, and then Fog Heather, I believe, is my lighter gray. So it'll be a nice little pattern across the top with those colors against the backdrop of the darker green. For this pattern, okay, now this is where I'm imitating, again, imitation, flattery, all that jazz. I'm imitating Positively Knitting, Nicole, who's Hot As Knitter on Ravelry and Flirk. She has a setup where she tells you what the heck you need to know to do this pattern. So, here's what the heck you need to know to do this pattern. You need to know how to cast on, how to knit, to purl, to make one left, that is to increase, to make one right, another kind of increase, to slip, slip, knit, and that's a sort of decrease, to knit two together, another decrease, to wrap and turn. I haven't done that one yet, so I'll let you know how that goes when I get there. I think that has to do with stranding. How to work from a chart, and I guess you also need to know how to strand. Those last, the working, wrapping and turning, and how to work from a chart, how to do stranding, well, wrap and turn and how to strand, those things I don't know how to do yet. And if you see me pointing at the screen, my notes are in front of me on the screen. I keep pointing to it as if you can see them. So I'm honestly not just like randomly pointing in your faces or something. Well, I am, but to me I'm not. Anyway, those are the things you need to know how to do. And let me grab the project bag for that. I'm keeping this in my, turn this around, pretty Egyptian kitty bag, my apron bag, which I love amazingly. I haven't made a whole lot of progress on it this week. Let me go from, I basically worked from this blue marker, so that's kind of pathetic. But I've been primarily working on one project this week, and I just wanted to say I worked a little bit on this one. So I got not even an inch done on it. I have to get, I believe, a total of an inch, inch and a half, maybe 2 inches before I can start doing the increases for the bust. And once I start increasing for the bust, I'm that much closer to stranding. To the colorway, to adding all the color work, and that scares the crap out of me. I'm excited about it, but it scares the crap out of me. Anyway, that's about as much as I've done on this. By the way, have you seen the inside of this? Gorgeous! Soft and amazing, and I love it. So let me close that off, and the kitties can go back. Egyptian kitties go back here. So that's probably all you need to know about heather yoke. The next project, yay, I can speak, is the one I'm calling Legless. It is, I need another drink. It is the Vivian pattern by Isolde Teague. I'm making it for myself in size 36. Excuse me. I'm using US 9 and big surprise, Knit Picks interchangeable circulars. I believe I'm using the 32-inch wires for this pattern. I'd have to check to make sure. If I don't have it written down somewhere, I'll figure it out when I put them away. Anyway, I'm using, I need to enunciate this because I always mess up the yarn. I'm using Stonehenge Fiber Mill Shepherd's Wool in the Blue Spruce colorway. Yes, I said it right. I usually want to say Bruce Spruce. Anyway, that's the yarn I'm using. For this pattern, you need to know how to cast on, how to knit, to purl, to work in seed stitch, to cable 4 back, and by the way, you need a cable needle. A lot of people like to use DPNs, apparently. I YouTubed it when I was trying to figure out how to cable, so I didn't know how to cable before this. Anyway, so apparently some people like to use the DPNs. I prefer my cable needle. My cable needle is awesome. Let me pull it out so you can see it. Or not, if I can't find it. That's not mine. The one I've been using. Where's the one I've been using? There it is. Apparently several different kinds of cable needles. Okay. Apparently this is a cable needle as well. That's not the one I use. The one I use I just threw on the floor. This is the one I like to use. It looks kind of like a shepherd's crook. I take the stitches I'm gonna pull back or forwards, slip them on there, move them out of my way, knit like I'm going to, and then slide it and knit. That probably didn't make much sense to you, but I prefer this cable needle. It works for my brain better. So, back to my show notes. You need a cable 4 back, cable 4 front. Again, make 1 left, which is an increase. Purl 2 or 3 together, which is a decrease. Purl front and back. Haven't done that before. We'll see how that goes. Pass slip stitch over. I have done that one, and that's a kind of decrease. Slip slip knit, a kind of decrease. Slip 2 together. I'm guessing that's a decrease. Twist 3 or 4 back, and apparently that's a kind of cable. And then there's twist 3 or 4 front, another kind of cable. Knit 2 together, a decrease. And you also need to know how to work from a chart. Other tools besides the cable needle that you'll need... Cable needle. Yeah, cable needle. Okay. I don't know why it sounded so odd for a second. Anyway, you need a cable needle. You need a removable marker. Like, I'm just going to show you one of the ones I have. Like one of these. Hi, Panda! A removable marker. And a zipper. I wish I could find the site now, and I might have to put it on the show notes. There's a site where you can get a zipper custom made to your yarn and the yarn color, and I'll probably go with them after I finish my project because that would be just awesome. I'm sure it'll cost me a little bit, but that's just too cool. Anyway, there is errata available for the pattern, and I believe you can find it on the Ravelry page for the pattern. I think you have to go to her site, or it's right on the Ravelry page itself. I can't remember. But since I've been talking so much about the pattern, you probably want to actually see the project. I think I'll put it in this bag. So, I'm keeping a new bag that I got, a Knit Picks bag. I don't really like it that much. I got it because I was looking for a cheap bag. I didn't realize how good the prices were until I watched Positively Knitting this past, well, right before I started podcasting today, I watched Positively Knitting. And I didn't realize how good the prices are for Knitting's My Bag. So I'm anxiously waiting to put in an order for her. I'm just hoping she responds soon and says, yes, I have the pattern cloth, whatever that you want for the bag, and I can make you some. Because her bags look so much more awesome than this. But this is sufficient for right now. It's a Knit Picks bag. It's got a kind of plasticky bottom that I don't like. But stays closed and holds my project, so I guess I really can't complain. Anyway, this is legless. I think I probably worked like a row and a half, something like that. I worked from this marker, so didn't get very much progress done. I did, however, I want to show you my new stitch marker. My mom, who is Lady Fernico on Ravelry, she was awesome and just got me as a gift a set of nursing stitch markers, and I'll show you the rest of them in my thanks section. And I just can't seem to hold my stitch marker straight for whatever reason. In case you can't tell, that's supposed to be like a Red Cross thing, but I can't hold it straight for the life of me because I always get mixed up. There we go. So see, it's really super cute. So thanks, Mom. And that is legless. And he's gonna go up here. I keep dropping stuff and making funny noises when I do it. Stay. Alrighty. Next on the project list is writing a rainbow. The pattern name is DVD Simple Toe Up Socks, and it's by Denise at Lost City Knits. And I'm using the Crystal Heel by Lynn D.T. Hirschberger, also known as Color Joy Lynn H. I think that the pattern is actually called like Crystal Socklet or something, but the Crystal Heel is the heel I'm using. I'm making them for me, and I'm using US2 Haya Haya circulars with a 40-inch wire because Knit Picks doesn't make interchangeables that small, and my yarn store didn't have Knit Picks at all that small with the wire I needed, so I went ahead and I got the Haya Hayas. I like the Haya Hayas, even if Knit Picks are my favorite. Anyway, I am magic looping with this 40-inch wire because I tried the DPNs at one point and I find them fiddly. I like just being able to throw my project in my bag and not worry about my stitches falling off, and I feel like I can do that with magic loops. And I'm thinking about using a US1 for the heel, just to give it a little bit more, make it a little more firm, a little less likely to wear. We'll see when I get to that point. Anyway, I'm using Desert Vista Dye Works yarn in the Wrapped Up in May colorway. For this pattern, you need to know how to cast on, and the pattern suggests that you use Judy's Magic Cast On. I did just a normal long tail cast on for the first saw because I read the directions and went, nah, I'm just going to do whatever I want. Second time around, I was like, oh, I'll do what they suggest. I did Judy's Magic Cast On. Really nice. YouTube it. It already closes up the toe of your sock for you, so you don't have to worry about closing up later. So I like that a lot. And I'll show you how it's closed up already when I get to that. So you need to know how to cast on, regardless of whether you use Judy's Magic Cast On or Long Tail Cast On or whatever the heck cast on you want to use. I suggest Judy's Magic Cast On though. You need to knit. You need to make one left, so you need to increase. You need to be able to pick up stitches. You need to be able to knit two together, that is, decrease. You need to know how to Kitchener, which I have not done before. And you need to know how to bind off. I would suggest using Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. I tried to do a normal bind off for my first sock. Which bag did I use? Not that one. Stay where you're supposed to. So anyway, I tried to use just a normal bind off. I don't even know the name of it for my first sock, and I swear I could not get my foot in. So I tried Judy's. It's Judy's Magic Bind Off. Let me double check. Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. So I did Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. Basically, you yarn over for every stitch or whatever that you're binding off. You just yarn over a lot. And oh my gosh, this is so stretchy. It's amazing. Now I'm not sure if you can even tell on the first sock that I long tail and then close it up. I don't think that you can really tell. So that's sock number 1. I just need to add the afterthought heel. And I'm stuck. Here's sock number 2, and the progress is from the blue marker. So not, too shabby, but not amazing. There's Jenny's. I think it's Jenny's. anyway, this is the, I need to actually look at my notes because I have no memory. This is Judy's Magic Cast-On for the bottom of this one. And I swear it was awesome. It was already a toe when I started. There was no hole at the bottom, so I was very happy with that. So the sock is coming along. I still have quite a ways to go before I'll be able to even think about getting to the heel point. And my colors are mostly matching up, I think. Yeah. It'll be a little off, but not too terribly noticeably. So that's the progress on that one so far. Let me put that away. But my wire is trying to fight me. Get back in the bag where you belong. Okay. The next working project is the Jewel Magic, which is my Damask shawl by Kitman Figueroa. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm not going to go through all the details for that or show that to you because I have done absolutely no work on that this week. So you'll hear more about that maybe next week if I work on it. But there's no point in going over it with you if I haven't even touched it. So, skipping over that one. The next pattern and the main project I've been working on is a project I call Nara. I name it after a character in Firefly just because I felt like it. The pattern is called Irene, and it's by Michelle Zaharis. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right, Michelle. Also known as Hot Knit Also known as Hot Knit Designs. Haute Knit Designs. And that's all one word. I'm making this for me. It's part of a knit-along that she's doing. And it's supposed to go through June. So if you're the first person to finish, you can win yarn. And if you're the second person to finish, you can win something else. If you're the third person to finish, I think you win a pattern. And then there's like a random choosing, and you get to win something else. I want to be the first person to finish. So I've been working my rear end off for this. I don't know if I'll, get it, but I really, really want it. So I'm making this for me. I'm doing the size medium because size small is like for itty bitty people. I'm using US 9 knit picks, interchangeable. What did I do there? Hold on one second. I messed up something. Okay. Sorry about that. That's what I get for not paying attention while I'm knitting. I'm using US 9 Knit Picks interchangeable circulars. And I think I'm using 24-inch wire. That's what's required for the pattern. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm using. I'm using some stash yarn, Lion Brand, Vanna's Choice, and Scarlet Colorway. This was yarn that I was going to use for a different pattern. I was going to crochet it into one of Lisa Gentry's patterns, and then I got bored of the pattern. It was just a little simple for me, for my taste, so I put it aside, and now I'm using it up. Probably won't use up all of it, but at least I'll use up a good deal of it. Anyway, for this pattern, you need to know how to cast on, how to knit, how to purl, how to make one left, that is to increase, how to slip one knit, pass over, so that's a decrease, how to knit two together, a decrease, how to left twist, which is a form of cable, and how to right twist, which is a form of cable, and then you need to know how to bind off. So, I'm really proud of the progress I've made on this one. That's what I've been knitting on while I've been talking to you. So, let me mark this off. I don't want to lose any stitches. When I talked to you last, I had gotten to there. So, that was about how many inches? Let me pull out my panda ruler. and see how many inches that was. So at that point in time, let's see. I say I had about 4 inches, 4.5 or 5 if I was generous. Now look how far I've gotten. I've gone from there to here. I was just starting the decrease. Let's see if I can pull it back a bit so you can see. It's from the blue marker. Look how much I've done in a week. Last time when I talked to you, I had just finished doing the brain fart. I just finished doing the swatch, and I had finished doing those 4.5 inches. Since then, I immediately started knitting on this again, and I've gone from the blue marker all the way up to the panda. So, more than doubled what I've worked on. Let's measure that. Let's test that theory. So, 6.5, 7 inches. So more than doubled. I've got like two more. I have like probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 19 more rows before I can start the bust shaping. And I mean, once I get to the bust shaping, I feel like I'm really close, because after the bust shaping, I'm going to be up here where all the pretty little cable work is. But if you haven't seen the Irene pattern by Michelle Saharis, I really suggest you look at it because it's gorgeous. And it's a great way to use up stash yarn. So I'm very happy with my progress. I had to start switching up during the week because I've been working on it almost exclusively, and I was getting really tired of it. So I started picking up my socks and working my cable sweater a bit, so I could do something else besides straight stockinette and red. Okay, I was decreasing sometimes, but mostly straight stockinette and red. And I love red, but I was getting sick of it. I told you what you needed to know to do the pattern, so I guess that leads us on to stash enhancement. Let me just knit this stitch. There we go. Stay. We saw the one stash enhancement, the bag that's holding my Legolas project. The other one was another Knit Picks bag. They had a sale at Knit Picks. I really want to get some Knitting's My Bag bags from Lois. So I really hope to hear from her soon. But this is my other Knit Picks bag. I don't have anything in it right now, but I'm sure that'll be remedied after some point. And this is supposed to be like a little what's it called? Accessory bag. I can't remember the name right now, and I know you're all shouting at me because you know what I'm trying to say, and I don't. Just adjusting this a little bit. Anyway, things like scissors and, well, scissors probably wouldn't fit in here, but little accessories that fit in here. So I got that. Want to see what that. I haven't used it yet. I need to get some more of the little accessories. But that's all for stash enhancements. I have things coming in, but that doesn't count because they have not come in yet. That's what I tell myself. So that leads me on to thank yous. I first want to give a shout out to Hungry for Yarn. I can't remember your real name. I'm sorry. But she has a new podcast called Let's Talk Knitting Podcast, and she gave me a really nice shout out / review during her podcast. Basically, what she does on her podcast is she talks about other people's knitting podcasts and says what she likes about them, and does what we all want to do, I guess, is talk to the podcaster. So if that's kind of your thing, I would suggest checking her out. I like seeing what other people are doing with their podcasts, and I really need to have more podcasts to listen to, but I sometimes find new podcasts to listen to when listening to her. So that's a thank you to Hungry for Yarn. And I have a lot of thank yous for my mom, who's Lady Furnico on Ravelry, and who's Lady Furnico on Ravelry. Anyway, I have a lot of thank yous for her. You saw the one stitch marker. Oh, I didn't show you the other one that's on my socks. Let me flip this. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. It is on this one. It's a little nurse's hat. If I turn it the right way, it might help. Isn't that really cute? I love stitch markers. She is feeding my obsession. So it's awesome. My mom said that Nurse with Needles needed to have some nursing stitch markers. So, thank you, Mom. So that's that. Probably zip up this one too, so I don't lose anything. Stay. Behave yourself. And you saw the one already on Legless. And these are the other ones. So you saw the Red Cross one, you saw the nurse's hat. Here is a capsule. So it looks like an antibiotic to me. Or, maybe, well, it's the right colors from Mucinex, but it's not the right shape. It's probably an antibiotic. Anyway. That's a capsule. There's a pill. You know what it looks like to me? It looks like a Percocet or some sort of pain medication. So I can have Narcs on my projects, and also lovely chart, because we all love all the charting we have to do. I think that's what that is. Clipboard chart thing, and it comes on this nice little safety pin. And these are made by Firestorm Creations, who is Dee Furlano. And she has an Etsy store as well. That's where my mom got it from. Ooh, and it's coming closer. So that's her. I'll probably have to stop keeping it in this box to take up room in my stitch marker bag. But I wanted to keep it somewhat together for the podcast. Where did you go? Okay. And my final most awesome thank you is also to Lady Furnico, my mom. She made me a bunny. We call him Peanut because when he first started, he looked like a peanut. He's crocheted. I think she single crocheted him. He's crocheted all in one piece, except for, she connected the legs and the arms and the ears and the tail, but the head and body are all one piece. And he's really cute. She still wants to put a tag on him to say that she made him. This is her first stuffed animal, so she's really excited about him, and I think he's really cute. She said because I named her Horse, who is still sitting back here, she's received him, but I podcast in the den, in her office den place, because I'm up all night. So I borrow her horse's background. And there's a bug flying around. I sure hope it keeps away from me. I don't like bugs. Anyway, yeah, Peanut's adorable. So she's really happy about him. I really love him. Thanks, Mom. Something nice about getting homemade things for yourself. Yeah. Well, and she's made stuff for us for years. She's always knitted blankets. She never thought she could do complex or even not so complex patterns. She was really afraid of patterns, and she's doing an amazing job. You need to take a look at her project page. So, that's all for now, folks. That's all, folks. And that's a really bad imitation. I'm getting punchy. So that means it's time for this to end. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless, and happy knitting.